Hi everyone. So in this video, I would like to describe about how to create a device and post some data to ThinkSpot. So in my previous one of the previous videos, I have shown how to create OpenSSL certificates and how to obtain one ThinkSpot server chain certificate from Arctic server. Basically, you have to request that ThinkSpot server certificate from Dr. Suranga or some others that are working in Arctic. Basically, on this one. So let's say I have created some certificates. So when you use the OpenSSL command, only you will get cert and key files. So this CS cert will be given by the higher authorities. So once you are done with creating these certificates, uh, you have to import these certificates and create an MQTT connection and connect to the ThinkSpot server. So why using these certificates? Basically, ThinkSpot server is protected by SSL protocol, which is throughout our Georgia State server. Basically, throughout the Georgia State websites and all. So it's like you cannot directly post or this karina.rs.gsu.edu's IP is not publicly visible. So to make that happen, you have to create a handshake, and if that handshake passes, then only the connection is secured, and you can have that MQTT protocol live and can communicate with the server and the device. So once those certificates are created, you have to copy the items of the cert.pem file. So if I open this with Notepad, as you can see, this is the certificate. So what you have to do is you have to copy all this stuff and copy down to the device. So if you open the manage credentials page of this particular device, you can see there is some access token generated. But this access token is not visible because there is no handshake going on here. So to make it happen, you'll use this 6509 certification, and you have to paste that certificate here and save this. This is not happening for me because I already assigned this certificate to the other device. So let's open that device. I'm going to delete this because it's a redundant. So maybe that's this device, temperature, humid, and distance. So if I go to manage credentials, as you can see, X509 is a certificate type, and this is the certificate here. So once this is done, I click on save. So this is the things board part. Then you have to install a program called WinSCP, or you can use any FTP program. I personally prefer WinSCP. So I have already installed, and using your Raspberry Pi's IP, you have to connect to the this particular FTP protocol. So let's say this is my VNC server. So if I open the terminal in Raspberry Pi, and if I click on ifconfig, you can see I'm returning with an IP address in WLAN 0, which is 10.0.0.73. If I go to here, 10.0.0.73, and the port number is 22 for FTP, and the username is Raspberry Pi. The password is something login. So as you can see, I can see the stuff that's on the Raspberry Pi. So things board, LED switch, and some stuff. So what you have to do is you have created this certificates, right? You have to drag and drop this whole folder to your convenient place in the Raspberry Pi. Let's say if I drag and drop it to the desktop, as you can see, there are four folders here, and those certificates came here in the Raspberry Pi. So this is how you will create and transfer the certificates to Raspberry Pi. I'm gonna delete this. So I already have some certificates that are in Thingsboard directory, and this is the Python file in which we import the certificates and we'll send some data. So basically, using Adafruit and DHT server and MQTT client and TB device MQTT client, we are creating the MQTT connection with the server, which is karina.rs.gsu.edu on the port 8883. This code will be available in GitHub as well. I'll post the link with this video. So as you can see in this line, I'm connecting to the client using the TLS, a secure protocol, with the certificates that are in C cert folder. So my CSRT is csr.pem, certificate file is certs.pem, cert.pem, and the key file is key.pem. So using this server certificate and this key file, this connection will get a handshake. Once that is done, to identify the particular device that is linked to this particular code, we are using this cert.pem. So here we use the same cert.pem, right? The X509 certificate data. So this cert.pem helps to identify, okay, this device is to which I have to post the telemetry data. So while true, what I'm doing is I'm getting some data which is on pin 4, DHT11. Right now, my device is not connected to this, but let's try. It says it cannot read on pin 4 because right now I'm not connected to the DHT11. But when you connect the data pin of DHT11 to the fourth pin of Raspberry Pi and the power VCC and ground to their respective devices, I mean to the respective pins, you will see that it will work. Let's try this. Let's go to the desktop. So if I run, it says I cannot round the stuff that's from pin 4 because it is producing none. So what we can do is we can comment this out just for some time. So let's say instead of temperature, I'm using some value here 10, and instead of humidity, I'm using a value 5. So here in the result, it says some data, send some data to the server as a telemetry data, and hopefully this works. Yeah, it says like none is happening in this particular thing. So yeah, now as you can see, it says successfully published the data. So if I go to the latest telemetry, as you can see, the 10 and 5 is successfully published. So this is how you will connect the particular device to the Thingsboard server using the MQTT with SSL protocol. And if I change this to 50 and 100, if I save this and rerun this program, yep, it's successfully published. And 50 and 100 is published here. So these things can be visualized in the dashboard. So in the dashboard, you can see the 50 and 100 data values are published right here. It's not continuous because uh, this particular thing is not getting data from a device. It's like hard coded here. So in the next video, I'll create a connection instructions for the DHT sensor, and I'll show you how to send the data to the Thingsboard server. Thank you.